There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop, coming at you from the streets of Flea Bottom as we behold the traitor dragon Maylease. That's right, folks. They're parading Maylease's head around in the streets. That's right, because we're here talking about episode 5 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. That's right, folks. The hit spin-off series of Game of Thrones that seeks to give us details to the Targaryen Civil War. And we're here for episode 5, titled Regent. Ooh, forbidding tone with Regent. With me, as always, is fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney. Maylease's head being dragged across the streets. Are you celebrating, or is this an omen?
A bad omen. A very bad one. I thought the dragons were gods. I thought they were gods. Now you realize they're mortal.
They're just meat.
They're just meat. I wonder if they're going to cook that. It's got to go somewhere.
Problematic. It's problematic. I don't think you should do that. But goodness gracious, what a display in the first couple of minutes. We're not here alone as we contemplate whether or not this is an omen for the rest of the series to come. Let's see who will be joining us tonight to talk this omen. Yes, we're here. Dr. Rika, how did you feel about the traitor dragon Maylease being paraded throughout the streets?
I was a little sad, RIP again. We said it last week. But overall, I found this episode to be really intriguing. I think something that's really exciting about the Game of Thrones universe is that you can have episodes like last week where there's a lot of action, and we got this big dragon fight for really the very first time. I think in the original series we got the ice dragon, and maybe if you had my TV, it was a little hard to see. So it was exciting to be able to see that. However, what I always appreciated about Game of Thrones and now House of the Dragon is that you have an ensemble cast, and you have episodes like this in which we get a lot of character development from a lot of different people in a lot of different places. And so I was really excited to be able to talk about some of those pieces today.
Game of Thrones series does indeed do a great job at, delivering some epic moments. And then the preceding episode is usually our catch up, our fallout, our aftermath, where we can really just kind of dissect kind of the ramifications of everything that has gone down. So yeah, let's do that right this very instant. As we have already alluded to, let's check in with our favorites, the greens. Let's start with the greens. So yes, we are parading the traitor dragon Maylease's head. Some call it an omen. And again, this is just it is a quiet reminder of our loss of the Princess Rhaenys and of course her dragon. But a victory? Do we call this a victory for the greens? I guess. But in reality, who knows how this might go, because some big things are going on here that I don't know. Let's kick it off with this. They're dead. Who's our big question mark? Our boy King Aegon, the magnanimous, who's alive. Some people thought he ate it.
Who thought that?
No, people are like on the internet really. I got in conversations with friends, and they thought he was dead. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's alive.
I'm pretty sure the preview shows him alive.
The previews didn't show him alive.
The preview showed them carrying a
casket.
They showed them carrying something to like a bed chamber, and even Allison was asking like, "Is he okay? Is he gonna be okay?" So I'm very shocked that people thought that he was dead. I guess from the implications of if they just saw last week's episode and left it at that and didn't watch the preview. But yeah, no, it's he's alive. If you call this living, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from Dracarys. Not to mention, God, look at him. Dragonfire must be hot. That's not like lighting a candle. Right. Very different temperatures there.
Did you see how the metal melted to his skin? It was all like slimy and gooey. Oh man, it was nasty.
Well, funny enough, Aegon's armor, I doubt when they made it, they thought, oh yeah, you're going to be hit by dragonfire.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, because when it was initially made, they were the only ones who had dragons. And so, yeah, I don't think there was any anticipation that would be the case.
And you got your boy Grandmaster Oricel trying his best here, trying to bring him back, but I think we got a Harvey Dent Two-Face going on here. Half his face is gone, and the rest of his body.
Yeah, how did only half his face get like that?
One, he got hit by the Dracarys. Two, they fell.
Oh,
Sunfire.
Also got hit. Yeah, it was just a whole. Not great.
Yeah, not great. Not great. Sunfire also dead. Confirmed. R.I.P. A lot of people talked about it's sad to see. Oh my gosh. I learned this really great history about Meleys and Vhagar over the course of the week. And it's actually really sad. These dragons, their story might be sadder than the infighting of this family.
Oh, were they lovers or something?
They weren't lovers, but Vhagar and Meleys, their former riders, were
the parent.
Take it away, Dr.
Yeah,
Rita.
their former riders were. So it was like the inverse. Daemon's parent had ridden Meleys, and Rhaenys's parent had ridden. So there were switching amongst the various dragons. Same thing with even Daemon's dragon as well. So it's like all of these former dragon riders there's connection, of course, within the family.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
They friends turned enemies. So so hearing about this also makes it sad. But yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there. The dragons lose too. And they said forget their history, forget their relationships. They're tools of destruction. That's not how it should be.
Are they like the Bijou from Naruto?
Oh, the Bijou, yeah. Dr. Rika, are you familiar with the Bijou?
I can't say I am.
Oh, the tailed beast.
Okay. Is this just like a form of a dragon?
Oh,
you could say.
A giant monster.
Okay. Well, that's what we're working with here in this universe, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fitting little parallel.
Mm.
Aegon is not in great shape. I like how Allison's keen. Say what you will about Allison. She notices things.
I got a lot to say about Allison with this episode.
I mean, well, first things first,
Yeah.
she notices right off rip that, I think she saw Aemon had the dagger,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have a son always smirking the way Aemon smirks, you always have some sign of suspicion. He's always scheming, man. I don't know the way. I don't know.
I don't like how he came into that bedroom and he just like
Let's assess the
Like-
damage.
Right. Like, I thought it worked. I thought I killed him. Is he alive? Like, he's villain mode. This is villain. I was trying to give Eamon some grace, but I think this whole time we've just been looking at the villain backstory, the traumatic experience that led them down the path of villainy.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a sign of redemption, which I thought it was going to be. He's straight up kind of bad now.
You thought he felt guilty about this?
No. I thought, he'd maybe kill Aegon and maybe come down and switch sides later on. But it
Oh,
seems like
no.
he's got his own agenda here.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no way.
Very much
What
so.
show did you watch last week?
Am I not allowed to have hope for the
You
boy?
can, because he did express, in one of the scenes at the brothel, he did express some remorse or a sense of remorse related at least to Luke. But power, I think that's so much of the theme of the show in general, but I think we really got a central look into that with Aemon, with Daemon, Rhaenyra, Alicent, that, having access to be able to be the most important and powerful person in the land changes people's constitution. So yeah.
It is fun to watch this ascension of Aemon as a character. I think probably for the Greens, I guess, their next best scene is definitely in regards to their next council meeting. Where, hey, Aegon's out of commission. Who's in charge? Who's doing it? Part of me was like, I swear to God, if Kristen Cole gets some fucking, like, falling into promotion, backwards ass promotion, I would have been failing up. I would have been livid.
Yeah.
I would have been livid. I said, enough is enough. He can't keep getting away with this. That
It
did not
wasn't
happen.
funny, but no.
I'm glad it did it. I can't imagine if he got one more promotion out of his follies. But here we have Alicent campaigning for herself, trying to keep the Hightower name in contention.
The irony.
Mm.
The irony.
Mm.
So yeah, and they alluded to it, and there was some dialogue too from, was it Laris, that basically said, yeah, if we are actively fighting against a side that is supporting a woman in power, we also cannot put a woman in power. And what I feel like beyond the theme of power, which is just like always just the case for these shows, but this episode very, very much felt like a focus on like patriarchy in terms of just like how little women have in general, but not specific to this world. Of Alicent, she is capable. She did rule in her husband's steed. She is very much like aware. You already mentioned that, of her just like noticing details, and she had been looking into history and trying to confirm some of what she was believing, what she'd been hearing, the conversation with Rhaenyra, etc. And so I imagine she would actually be really a capable leader, but would never actually get the opportunity to do so. And we got to see other scenes throughout the show with other folks too. The Rhaena scene with Jane and Aaron, Rhaenyra's scenes, etc. Of just like the fallout of, yeah, we're never actually going to be able to be successful and be in a position of like true power as women in this world. And I just thought it was so ironic for Alicent to really swallow and grasp that in that moment, because I don't think it ever really clicked for her until this moment. And that's what has felt like her journey thus far this season, because I think Alicent is very much like, she has always wanted a sense of justice to prevail, whether or not that benefited her family or benefited others, whatever the case may be, but it needed to be the right thing. And so much is going wrong and so much is like falling apart for her, even from the idea of like, oh, I heard Viserys say Aegon, and learning it actually didn't mean her son Aegon. And so since then, it's been this like spiraling of like, oh, everything I knew and thought is actually untrue, and everything is very warped, and these people don't care about me. And now my son is like half dead, and the other one maybe was responsible, and the person I thought I could trust is no longer trustworthy. Like, it's just incredibly fascinating. Everything's really ironic, and I think it's just fun storytelling, at least for me, to be able to watch unravel.
No, I definitely
No.
like the absurdity of it too. Because you have Allison basically laying out the logistics of why she should be acting queen in Aegon's stead, and she made sense. She's like, I ruled, in my husband's stead when he was bedridden. I'm the most logical choice to, sit in that seat. And I forgot how they worded it, but it was like a quick sentence where they said, "Yes, but Your Grace, you're a woman." And that's all. That's all they said. And Allison's looking around the room like, "You guys can't be serious, right?" I think that's when it hit her, when it starts zooming in on her, and she, like the sounds around her start like fading out. Oh my god, the absurdity really started to sink in, because she realized like, wow, they literally put Aemon on the seat over me. I can't believe it.
It was you can't do this to me.
I built this kingdom. Do you know how much I sacrificed?
You're out, Allison. It was very much, though, Allison too. Obviously, yes, logically, she has a great case, but part of me was also like, I have to plead my case to take points away from Aemon, because Aemon, I think at this point she's just fearful, because she knows good and well Aemon had something to do with Aegon, good and well. At this point, she now fears her son, and it's interesting. Yeah, these tables keep turning in weird ways. Aemon, I guess, was at one point maybe her pride and joy, I guess.
Yeah, he's definitely the favored child.
Aegon was the one she just kind of lost all hope in, or and whatnot. Helena, just there, I guess.
She exists.
And then Daron, I don't know what he must have done to get sent to Old Town, but
is that where
he was sent as a kid? So they probably don't even really have much of a relationship, to be honest with you.
Is that where Otto went?
Yeah,
that is where Otto
God,
went. Yes.
What does he think of all this? I want to know what he has to say.
Oh, Otto's sitting by a fire like,
burn.
Right. Yeah, at this rate. But yeah, no, just like, you gotta not let Aemon on the throne. And I do love the part talking about kind of, Kristen Cole, one of her last little, and Larys is messy too. He said
he definitely he don't give a shit about none of these folks. It's whatever can get him in the best position.
But I think he just likes being messy. He looked at Cole and said like, what do you think, Hand of the King? You are the voice of the king, knowing good and well, he is aware of Kristen Cole and Allison, knowing good and well this man is not about to say Allison over, Aemon. And then I love their little conversation when he's like sharpening his sword out in the courtyard, because I was like, ooh. Oh, I wish I wrote this one down, but I didn't run a rewind. Oh gosh, loyalty faded. Where's your loyalty? It faded. It flourishes in the night, though.
Yeah.
That was great. I was like, yes, correct. Correct. That is what's going on. Your flower has power at night, and then that flower slowly withers away when the men come to play. And Kristen Cole, even the balls on this man to refer to her as Allison. The disrespect.
I did not give you leave to use my name.
The disrespect. and she said it too. She was like, "You think you're still gonna get some after that? After this? You think this
Absolutely not.
is still a thing? Right? We're done. We're done. We're
Yeah.
done."
The really interesting thing is, like, on paper, I imagine Aemon actually has some pretty decent qualities in comparison to Aegon, at least.
Correct.
Of like, has studied histories, is aware of philosophy, battle aware as well, etc. He's just also maybe a little unhinged. And I don't know how much I would trust him doing things for the benefit of not only those within his family, but holistically, you know, the small folks, as we saw his decree of people not being able to leave the city despite the fact that there's basically a famine happening. So yes, and that's what makes the show fun, is there are characters that are clearly kind of in the gray area, and then folks that we are definitely moving into, like, this is not a great person and this is a villain. And we may understand some of, you know, what got them to where they get when we witness their acts in the show, but it doesn't negate the fact that they're who they are. In this case, we got Aemon's backstory, but also I don't feel very confident that his behavior is going to improve for the good. Which will be
Not
fun
my
king.
Not my king. It's a weird place the Greens find themselves in.
Yeah.
The people of King's Landing also are being, you know, falling victim to this kind of, you know, who's gonna rule. We get one line from Helena.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
Yeah, was it worth the price? Which is a very interesting phrasing, because, you know, season 1, as far as, you know, him not having a dragon, she dropped the line saying it'll cost him an eye, you know. And then Aemon, when he finally got Vhagar, was like, you know, it's okay, mother. I lost an eye, but I gained a dragon. I have no idea if she's actually referring to that as a whole, or if she's talking about something else. Because given anytime she drops any piece of dialogue, that could be seen, that could be seen as something yet to come. So I don't know what to make of this. I don't know.
Wasn't she talking about what he did to Aegon in that scene?
I don't know.
I feel like it was pretty on the nose. What else would she be referring to?
It could be a double entendre. She could very much be talking about Aegon, or she might be foretelling something.
But how can she be foretelling something if it's worth the price?
It doesn't make sense.
He had to have paid his dues already, so she's asking him what you did. Is it worth the price? Because he's looking at the throne.
Unless there's another due to be paid.
No, stop. There's no way. I feel like it was on its nose. He is literally like deadpan staring at the throne, and she's like, "Well, was it worth it? Was it worth it what you did?"
Oh my gosh, this is the freaking Thanos young Gamora scene.
Oh my god.
What did it cost?
What did it cost?
Everything.
Everything. Except there's lightning in the background. What the hell is this very, like, stereotypical villain scene? The lightning flashing in the background as they're looking at the symbol of power.
I do think it is a fair question to ask, though. Like, I believe it was very on the nose, being about Aegon, but because she is a dragon dreamer, who knows? Who knows? So
I don't trust anything that this girl says. I sure don't.
She's been pretty right.
You don't trust her, or you don't know what to read into what she says?
I don't know what to read. I don't trust it at all.
You know, I think she's been pretty on the nose about a number of things. So
correct. So, and those things usually happen after the fact.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the last piece of irony here is we did get some words from Aegon. Mummy.
He said something?
Yeah. That's
he said mummy.
Oh,
after Alicent had left, like just as the doors were closing.
Oh, I did hear him say something. I didn't hear what he said, but I heard he mouthed something. I thought it was just like gurgled moans and
No.
groans.
The half alive corpse said mummy as he wants his mummy. It's too much for him. You know, he needs his mother to hold his hand because being a king isn't that easy, is it, Aegon? So, you know, quick to write her off early on in his kingliness. Now, after this, lost a dragon, lost half his physical being, back to square one for the boy.
And it's so interesting that that was their kind of first real like scene between the two of them after last week's scene, where she said, you know, just do nothing. And now he really can't do much of anything.
He's going to have to do nothing but actually listen and learn from the more experienced people. He's got no choice now. Doesn't have a dragon to ride in. And he can barely stand on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, his legs were broken, so.
Yeah. So some good irony here. Some good irony. All right, before we check in with the Blacks, let's check in on our third party. Let's check in on Hugh. We met Hugh again.
We did.
All right, his hair is a lot more white this time around than it was prior. Or maybe it was the lighting.
Because he's not in the dark.
Okay. He looks like a Targaryen now. I give it to him. He looks like he could be a bastard. So
why is no one saying anything when they see him out in public? Hey, wait a minute.
Well, there are a lot of them, if you remember.
Right. There were some kids, right? There were some kids.
There are
around?
a bunch of kids, yeah.
Okay.
But even before that, and I imagine we'll get to the conversation that was had at the very end between Jace and Rhaenyra, but yeah, there's a lot of Targaryen adjacent folks. We just happened to get the names of just a few of them, so.
Yeah, I don't know if Hugh's mentioned in these books, but I guess that's where his story's going in this recruiting process that's about to take place. I mean, the man's at this point very desperate. Daughter's on death's doors, and wife doesn't want to be around for AEMOND, but now they're kind of stuck here. So I don't know where we go from here. I don't know if Masaria's plan has anything to do with Hugh. So we'll see. But he was our quick little third party check-in. As far as, you know, neither, I wouldn't call him team green nor black. So we didn't get any other check. No Hall brothers this week.
No carrot soup.
Okay.
Well, unless are you just counting Rhaena under team black check-ins?
Oh yeah, Rhaena's team black check-in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're here. Now we're team black. Let's check them. Now the blacks had a lot going on.
Yeah.
This episode. So let's start with our boy, the patriarch of my house, Lord Corlys. Man, the Velaryons had the shit end of the stick this whole entire series.
It's so bad.
You're right. Everybody just keeps dying. Poor Corlys lost the brother.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
They really got a lot of people. I was going down one at a time.
Yeah.
Wow.
His son, quote unquote.
Yeah. Well, as of he knows right now, the sun is gone. So.
Right. So poor man, and I don't know. I think I just want to be left alone. But this man, he stands by his duty, as far as, you know, keeping up the blockade and, you know, looking for the heir of Driftmark. But Rhaenyra needs some help. She needs a helping hand.
Literally.
Corlys, be my hand. I think I might pass. I don't know.
If you were
I need
Corlys,
huh?
if you were Corlys, you would pass?
Yes, I need some time to just mourn.
Ain't got time for that. There's a war going on.
I get it, but it's like all this in the name of Targaryens. You know, this has all happened because of his connection to this family, and the way it's going, I can't see it getting better.
And if you think about kind of within the context of the show, they lost Luke like pretty recently, and now his wife, and so his heir, and within a very short window of time. So it is quite a lot of loss.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Luke, because again, history doesn't remember blood, it remembers names. That's a Valarian. Yeah, that's another Valarian lost. But hey, I guess Hand of the King. I guess at this point, what's he got to lose? So, I mean, he's got 2 granddaughters left.
Yeah. Yeah. And technically, you know, he's still claiming Rhaenyra's other 2 kids. Whereas,
Correct.
like, technically,
Joffrey, right?
Joffrey. But the focus, I imagine, is actually going to be on the twins, on Rhaena and Baela, which I thought Corlys and Baela seems really good.
Oh yeah, very good, very good.
Just seeing her interaction and her being able to speak about her own grief and the fallout related to Rhaenys, but her affirming her own place in the war and the confidence that she has in herself, but also kind of that language she used around him wanting her to be the heir, because she is clearly very capable, but she is blood and fire, and you're fire and blood, whichever way phrasing, but in that particular seat needs someone who is of salt and sea.
I thought that, I was like, ooh, cool line. I actually really like that line too. Which makes me then think, salt and sea, the Hall brothers, maybe. I mean, unless you do pass it to Joffrey, because I guess Jace would be after,
the overall heir, but
right.
I think that's why you just pay attention to the characters that have been introduced, because they may play a part. So
right.
happens.
And then Rhaena as well, drop in the whole "we must carry the will of Rhaenys." That's for us, the fans, too. We have to carry Rhaenys. Rhaenys isn't gone. She's right here. She's with us.
Right here?
You got friends like us.
Gross.
Rhaenys is my power. She's not going anywhere.
Terrible.
But yeah, very, very good scene with the Lord of Driftmark. We shall see how this goes. But yeah, man, things are not so hot in Team Black either. Again, suffered the big loss of losing their biggest dragon, and Rhaenys, a formidable dragon rider. Our little council's now looking too hotly at Rhaenyra. She doesn't know the difference between a hilt and a foible. I know what a hilt is. I'm not sure what a foible is myself. Anybody?
No.
I got nothing. No. I just know it cuts people. That's all you need to know.
Oh, is that what it does?
The sword itself. That's all I need. Point and thrust.
Oh, the weaker part of a sword blade from the middle point. Oh, I get it now.
Can you not ride into battle?
I can't. I didn't know either, so I can't ride into battle. I mean, let the girl ride into battle. She doesn't need to fling a sword. Let Cyrax burn them all.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Just
what a
burn
dragon
everyone.
rider does.
Everyone. All collateral damage. Every single person.
I mean, don't burn everybody.
No.
Everybody.
Just, a good chunk of them. Not everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, 25%.
Maybe 80%.
When Kristen Cole said they lost 900 men, I was like, 900 men? Great, googly moogly. Was that from like one Melis blast and a couple of arrows?
Well,
like,
and then also like Vagar stepped on a bunch of people.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's likely just to continue to be a trend. A lot of casualty.
I guess I was surprised at the number. I was like, go ahead, Melis. Take a bunch out. And you still lost. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you mentioned the Black Council. I think I know we had talked previously about how we felt regarding like the Green Council and particularly when Aegon was still up and running. Um, but it's not like the Black Council is much better because they're also not listening to who is supposed to be their leader, and I think there are additional layers to it beyond, I think there's this idea of they think Aegon's incapable on the green side and they just need him as a puppet. But on the black side, it's like, well, almost kind of similar. Like, I don't know if they would ever come out and say that they think that, like, they think of her negatively, but also they don't have a lot of confidence in her. And so it's interesting to see some of that play out, because I don't know if either council had a lot of faith in ultimately who their number one leader is, in comparison to maybe other things that we've seen, not necessarily within House of the Dragon, but like in Game of Thrones.
Right. I think the Black Council very much is just trying to stand by Viserys, not stand by Rhaenyra, if that makes sense. They're trying to honor
the dynasty.
Right.
Yeah.
They're trying to honor
the initial pledge.
Right.
Rather...
But ultimately, Rhaenyra is educated in the art of ruling, and she did grow up in a peacetime, so there wasn't much battle that she was learning about. And then she wasn't trained by the sword, she was trained by the cup. But what I like here is that she has her council barking at her, but I think she kind of secretly, there is a secret council I think she has that is really supporting her the best way they know how. And let's talk about her secret council. First up, you got Miss Arya, the White Worm. Love her. She's doing a great job. Giving her that womanly support, gold woman. But to her knowledge of Flea Bottom, the Keep, and all that, I think whatever the hell she's planning right now, I know the people, Your Grace. I know what they want. That's good.
Yeah, it's useful.
Yeah. Start a rebellion within. Unlock the gates for them. I don't know. Something. That goes a long way. The fact that Elinda went up to one random guard and said, "I'm on the orders of the White Worm." I thought she was dead. The White Worm always collects their dues. Lets her in the city. Apparently her name goes a long way. That's valuable. Can't go without that. We got as we said, Rhaena made her big play and getting Corlys back on.
That was Baela. Rhaena is in the Vale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Rhaena did have a scene.
Even I knew this.
Oh gosh.
With Jane Eyre. And so I will briefly mention, I think that scene was really interesting too, of just the fact that she'd asked for dragons. She did technically get dragons, but not fighting dragons. But then there was some dialogue in terms of just like safety, and again, just this idea of like, yeah, there is not a guarantee that we will achieve it, but it would be nice to have it. But no, Baela is the one that went to see Corlys. Rhaena is with the younger kids in the dragon eggs.
Gosh darn it.
Terrible.
Okay. Baela did her thing with Corlys.
Had a scene with Rhaenyra and also had a scene with Jace.
Okay.
She is Jace's betrothed.
Which they are coming. I see sparkles of an actual romance there. I'd love to see if that's explored. Rhaena, as you said, in the Eyrie. Cool to see the Eyrie again. They need to stop complaining. You got 2 dragons. Feed them bitches. They will grow. Like, what are you complaining for?
They're small. They're babies.
How many dragons do the Freys have?
It doesn't matter. One Vagar. One Vagar comes in, and that's it.
Vagar. Hold up. The Erie is high up. Vagar ain't flying that
Well,
high.
I liked what I like Jace's comparison to that, because I think wherever he went,
He was at the Twins.
He's at the Twins.
He brought up the whole concept of like, you're afraid of a dragon that is like 1,000 leagues away when mine sits atop your castle, like outside these city walls. You got a dragon right here. Quit fantasizing about the nuke that's walking out like miles and miles away. He's not here. I am. I thought that was nice of Jace.
That was. What's Jace's dragon? Arax?
It starts with a V. I have a hard time.
Vyrax.
Vermax.
Vermax, there it
See,
is.
told you.
Right.
But Jace is also part of the secret council that you have created.
Yes, correct. Jace. Ooh, Jace paid. Oh wait, now we're in this weird place where, as Game of Thrones watchers, the last place we really want to go check in and try to have bend the knee to our cause are the Freys. All right, Dr. Chase, I see you thinking about who are the Freys.
Go ahead, educate me.
Please, no.
The Red Wedding.
The Red Wedding.
Oh, okay. I remember the Red Wedding.
Okay, do you remember why now we don't care about the Freys?
They're evil.
Well, Walder Frey, I guess, is evil. Yes, but just hearing the name Freys with our prior knowledge of Game of Thrones, it's supposed to elicit a sense of suspicion. Don't trust them.
But the most important thing, though, and why they continue to be brought up as an important family is they are genuinely the only way to get from the north to the south. Because they control the bridge, which is why they were so important in the initial series and why they're important now. And Jace knew to treat with them because he's made a deal with the North, as we saw in the very first episode, but he needs those people to be able to get through. So
the Freys are always, a pivotal access point to connecting the greater parts of Westeros.
If you're going at least by land, which they have no choice.
Correct. Oddly enough, the Freys always seem to be in the least favor of the Tully house, which, Tully's kind of run the Riverlands. Seems like this has been going on for a while. Tully's shitting on Freys. Sure. But Jace did a great job here. Go ahead, Jace. What did he say? We'll give you Harrenhal. I don't think they're about to get Harrenhal, but we'll see. Because they don't have Harrenhal.
200 years later. Yeah.
Right. So whatever's about to happen, either they lose or the Freys just get shat on again. But good move by Jace. Good move.
Yeah, he had a good episode.
Gotta give him some props.
We'll circle back to the last conversation.
Oh, yes. Again, if you're doing good things on the Secret Council, you're gonna get some bigger conversations to be part of. So I think that was it for the Secret Council. Now, Damon, I would love to include him in the Secret Council.
I don't think we should right now.
Probably not right now. Probably not best. A little hard to kind of tell where Damon in his loyalties and everything, where that kind of lies.
With himself.
Right. God, he's still being haunted. I think all this haunting is indeed making him realize, most of what he does is for himself. In the regards of King Consort, that last part seems excessive. He wants to be king. Plain and simple.
And what is so funny about this is him kind of wrestling with this idea of like where he stands and what power he has access to while AEMOND, his foil, is currently on the throne. Good stuff.
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah, just he's always had a respect for Viserys, you know, and he never tried to usurp Viserys, and he always did things in the name of Viserys. So he's got great points for him when it comes to just how he handled that. But then, you know, it's such a weird place because Rhaenyra took his, you know, inheritance, and yet he loves Rhaenyra. It's very weird. It's very messy. There are times you can still root for him, and maybe they can rule side by side together as this queen and king equivalency versus one being the consort. I don't really know how that works in all of Westeros.
There's only one throne. There ain't two there. There's no 2 seats up there.
They can share.
Where?
Honey, would you like to sit on the throne today? Why, of course, dear.
No, it's warm for one person.
Wow.
That's how. I don't make the rules. That's their own setup.
I just feel, hey, tag in, tag out.
Tag team.
Yeah. That's what he's basically saying. Yeah.
The Westeros tag team champions.
He's tagging in Damon. Come on, why not?
Or some kind of like, because they're dragons.
Right.
So like some type of top rope.
Yes,
off the top rope.
I feel it could work, but I guess not. And I guess the Ghost of Harrenhal seems to be doing some weird stuff. Was Daemon messing around with his mother?
Was.
Yeah.
That was indeed Alysanne Targaryen.
Kind of weird.
A lot weird.
Yeah.
Now hold up. Are we to take from this that they did mess around?
No.
Yeah.
He was very young when she died.
Okay.
I think it was more to do with just the dynamics of the family, because some of like her dialogue was about he should have been born first, or just the differences between him and Viserys, and so yes, Harrenhal's haunted, as you see.
Would you pay for a night in Harrenhal?
How much? How much money?
Oh, how much?
Yeah, I have bills.
Oh, we're getting paid, or we have to pay for a night?
Would you pay for a night in Harrenhal? So
when I pay.
Harrenhal is on Airbnb.
Oh,
most people buy.
I thought you were saying I would get money if I were to stay there.
Oh, no. As in, it's on Airbnb. You're paying for the haunted experience. It's probably going for $200 a night.
No.
Why would I pay to be stressed?
They talk about bat shit in the halls. The roof is leaking.
You eat good though.
I might have.
They have money for food.
Did you see what Damon was doing with his mother from these dreams? No, I'm okay. I'll pass. I don't have to pay for anything.
The meal did not look good either. What kind of?
Yeah, they didn't cook that meat. That meat was raw.
It's raining all the time. $200.
$200 a night.
Not even for free. Not even for free.
My good money.
It's a haunting experience.
No, absolutely.
The food is haunting. The dreams are haunting. The experience is haunting. No.
Well, you got the great host of Alice Rivers, also haunting your awake experience in Harrenhal.
I'd rather be sleeping in my at home. I don't think I need to be there.
Okay,
but you would have to pay me to stay, and I would need like a considerable sum to stay in like a batshit infested, haunted, always raining, dreary, lack of food having husk of a castle. I would need to be paid to stay.
Fair enough. I feel Simon Strong is also a pretty nice host.
You know what?
Very
He-
friendly.
Actually, I was gonna say that yes, I have really enjoyed.
That's the saving grace. Now we're gonna sleep there.
Well, I'm still not gonna stay, but we can say hey to him or whatever and keep it moving.
I like you.
He's like a
I
really
feel-
pleasant.
Simon Strong doesn't look like he's being haunted at all.
He chilling. He like, all right. So Damon's making a mess of this. We definitely got a witch. She's probably haunting the place. I know what things are like here.
I like the way that he looked at her too. He's like, "Oh yeah, that witch." Like, I don't know. I feel like he's aware of the going ons. Like, oh, she must be messing with Damon. Well, Damon, let us talk of the matters of the castle. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
No, he's funny. Did I mention Loris took all the financials? We don't have any money.
We broke. It's basically that. I was like, sir.
He said, "Wait, now you're telling me? You didn't think that should have been one of the first things that you said?"
And the fact that they keep mentioning, like Alice had said it and Simon had said it, just like, so the queen, have we like reached out? Quick Raven, what are we doing here? And yeah, things are very fractured within that marriage. So
Definitely messy when you can't even send a Raven, aka the equivalent of a text message.
yeah.
And then when you do send one, it says, "I'd like to finish our last conversation."
And you're left on red.
You are left on red, yeah.
As of right now. But I mean, Damon's still doing work. I think he's got the Blackwoods, or he almost had the Blackwoods and Brackens ready to
He
go.
almost did.
Well, they've been ransacked,
Yeah,
pillaged,
right.
which now the lords of the Riverlands are not very happy about. Understandably so.
So hold up, was that the Blackwoods and the Brackens that did all that pillaging?
No, it was the Blackwoods, I believe, are the family who are in support of Team Black, and they
Right.
are the ones who fucked up the Brackens and then everybody else.
Willem,
Under the banners of
the Red Dragon.
mhm,
Right.
which is likely not what Damon asked for, but also like I don't know how much like empathy he has based off of the conversation that we saw with like Alice, who had mentioned that like the people who are going to be impacted are like innocents, particularly women and children. And I don't think this is a really great way of going about trying to recruit people. And
I
it's
mean,
not, clearly.
well, it was an interesting point or interesting direction that he went as when the Brackens turned him down, and they said, "We rather have fire."
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
And he didn't give it to them.
He didn't.
Did
There was a
none of them
cool
fight
shot
Duress?
where I forgot what's his name, but the lead
Caraxes.
Bracken. No, not the dragon. But it involves Caraxes, where the lead Bracken that denied him legions, he's walking away and you see Caraxes in the back shot of in the background of him. And I don't know, I thought that was cool. He stared down
That
a
was a cool
dragon
scene. That
and
was
he's
a cool
walking
scene.
away from it. And it's like, wow, damn. They've like never seen a dragon before in their life. And they're like, no, go ahead and burn us. We don't care. And I mean, I thought it was great. Damon encountered someone or a group of people that he can't just shake his fist at and say, I got a dragon, bend the knee, or else. They're like, all right, do it. Go ahead, do it.
And actually, the resolve too, with regards to those are the kind of men I need.
Right.
Absolutely. People who are ready to lay down the line against the dragon. I think I would want them too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think it's foolish. I mean, yeah, they probably lose that battle against the dragon. But they got balls. They got some big cojones.
And Damon needs balls.
He needs a lot of balls.
Mhm.
How many?
An army's worth of balls.
A mouthful of balls.
Okay, there we go. It's on its face now.
A dragon's mouth full of balls. You tell me how many balls can fit in Caraxie's mouth.
Like, would be quite a lot. I don't know how comfortable with film.
We talking balls deep. Come on. The Riverlands are still the key to this war, and it seems this will be, again, we're not done with the Riverlands. Daemon got a taste of what it meant to be king when they all came complaining. He did not have an answer for them. So I'm like,
Lena real quick too.
Oh my God, Lena again, Jesus.
Yeah, he's just not doing great in terms of the haunting. I think, I imagine I'd be really curious what an experience at Harrenhal would be for someone who doesn't have like so many skeletons in the closet.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, they'll find something.
So,
well, they might just prey on their deepest fears, but
yeah,
Right.
Daemon seems like he's got a lot of regret coming out,
very interesting.
Yeah.
Not doing great.
I wonder if Rhaenyra shows up, what will her experience be? Or if we see any other character's experience, could be interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Riverlands are the key. Kristen Cole knows this. Daemon, Aemon, Rhaenyra, everybody knows this. But the big problem on hand, get all the men you need. Vhagar is your biggest problem. I've been saying it for weeks now. We've got to do something about the Vhagar problem. And finally, someone has said something. This is what I've been waiting for. I said, you got to take that big bitch out.
That's exactly what they said.
That is literally
Verbatim.
what they said. Cyrax is fast. I take it Cyrax is sizable now.
Yeah.
Not as big as Meleys. She's also not as old as Meleys either.
No.
Right.
The
I'm
speed.
telling you, you need like 5 dragons. That's it. That can do it.
Well, the ones that were mentioned. So the big conversation that we had there at the end. So this makes like 2 episodes back to back that Jace and Rhaenyra had like important dialogue with one another because he heard about the prophecy last week and then this week. Well, to take out a dragon, you need more dragons. And they happen to have the dragons. They just need
have them.
some riders.
Vermithor. We've met Vermithor. We talked about
did.
Vermithor. We have not met Silverwing.
Wing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, what do? How do you get more riders? Well, you do the 23andMe DNA test and you go find some more folks in your ancestral family tree.
Or otherwise known as
a book? It's a book?
dragon seeds.
Dragon seeds. Yes. Which are documented in the book.
They could.
They would have
They're
to look at-
hoping.
yeah, their hope, I imagine, is to be able to look at the lineage of those members of Valerian households, to trace those who never ascended to power but were married into other families to find some riders.
But you can't become a dragon rider overnight.
You
Ain't
can't.
that easy.
We'll at least need to get somebody on the saddle.
Get back up on the saddle. Get to the skies.
Isn't that more dangerous? Putting someone with the 0 experience, go! Just fly to the sky, distract them.
Yes. You're going to be the distraction. We're going to come in and light that bitch up. You just make sure you stand out of the way when the guns started blazing.
You don't want to end up like Aegon, do you? Terrible.
Literally, that's what I mean. We make fun of it, but I imagine that's probably the plan. Just give Vhagar a hard time with. You need a bunch of gnats. You need a bunch of mosquitoes trying to. Yeah, Vhagar can't swat at all of them.
The thing about Vhagar, and we did see some of that last week, is she is big and powerful, but she's not nimble. So to have multiple, distractions, if that ultimately is their plan, I'm not the most experienced dragon battle planner, but that could be a potential option. Is to, okay, if you get a few distractions, then those who are a bit more experienced, or at least aware, could try their hand.
Also to this, apparently Vhagar gets really tired.
They did say when she was resting.
Yeah.
She did fight,
She did.
Right.
And she fell pretty hard too.
Fell pretty hard. And someone actually, I wish I had gotten whatever, I don't know if it was a TikTok or on Twitter or whatever the case was, but had traced some of the strategies from Meleys and Rhaenys of some of the things that she did and was really smart about, and so it is going to be hard to replace that intelligence and awareness.
You cannot replace numbers with experience.
But they're
or
gonna
vice
try.
versa.
So
They're gonna try.
They're
They're gonna try.
So I mentioned in previous podcast episodes, that's why you just follow new characters introduced and certain nuggets that are dropped, or in this case seeds that are dropped, because they may come to be a little important.
Okay, hold up real quick. The seed talk. I guess maybe I missed it then.
Okay.
So definitely Hugh.
Yeah.
And that's it, because the Hall brothers, they're not Targaryen.
You don't have to be Targaryen.
Okay, one person on TikTok said you had to be Targaryen.
No.
Because I did think it just had to be of old Valyria.
You have to be of old Valyria.
Which is Valyrians.
Traditionally. Yeah. Which does include
Right.
the Valyrians and does include the Targaryens. But you don't have to be only a Targaryen. I think that's just
Did she have it wrong? Did she have it wrong? She sounded so confident.
Maybe you misunderstood what she said.
And what I will also say, even if that was the case, say, for example, in the books, which actually it isn't, they're doing whatever they want with the show. Even book readers have indicated, there's a book canon, so what is true of the books and then what is true of the show. And, they got to make it an entertaining show, so at the end of the day, they're likely just to do whatever is going to provide that entertainment and tell the story they want to tell. But you don't have to just be a Targaryen to write a drag.
Okay, then I guess back to the Hall brothers. They are my number. Well, Hugh is a definite number one draft pick. Hall brothers, huh?
Yeah, you met the Hall brothers and you met Ulf in the bar.
Ulf, who's Ulf?
He was the one
those were two
saying-
different people.
Yeah, they're two different people.
Oh,
I
God.
mentioned
They're
it
two
last-
different people.
Yes, I mentioned it really
Wow.
briefly last week.
Oh.
So Hugh is the one with the family we saw again this week. Ulf we saw in the tavern when Aegon had come in, that he was telling the story
Yeah.
of I am, the descendant of the bastard who was the brother of the
The Saracen.
parent of Viserys and Daemon. And so you had asked me, do you really believe him? Whether we believe him or not, there's a reason why he showed up, and there's a reason why he dropped, which is why I'm allowed to talk about it. He dropped the language of Dragon Seed.
Okay, see, here I thought Alice Rivers was a bastard of a Targaryen.
She is a
So-
bastard, but not of a Targaryen that we know of.
Over my head.
No. So Hugh, who is a blacksmith who we saw with his family, Ulf, who we saw in the tavern, and then the two Hull brothers are the four new characters that, more likely than not, may fall into this particular category of,
Now it's
can't-
interesting if Team Green ever catches wind of this idea as well.
Who knows?
See, a very, we gotta recruit faster. We gotta find more dragons. Put them bastards on some dragons.
The issue with Team Green is they don't have extra dragons.
Right.
So Team Black, the reason why they're able to start to cook up this plan is they have the extra dragons, and they're even, they're the ones below. We still have those eggs, So sea smoke is still flying around.
Sea smoke is still flying around.
I imagine that'd be a little complicated because technically, Laenor, I don't know how they'd explain that, but he didn't die.
He didn't die.
So, regardless, the Greens don't have any extra dragons. Although Helena does have a dragon.
Dreamfire.
Yeah, Dreamfire. I don't know if that would ever come to fruition as far as using Dreamfire, but they're right now.
Daron has a dragon.
Yes. It starts with T. I can't remember. Tessarion or something like that.
Oh, Tessarion. I did see that in the dragon list.
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, Vhagar is what they got, which is it's a pretty formidable what they got.
Vhagar counts for, at this rate, at least 2 dragons. Right.
Maybe 3.
I give, we can give Vhagar 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And Aemon is, as we've seen, formidable in battle and is willing to do whatever. So the Blacks have more dragons, just don't maybe have enough riders who'd be able to go into battle. So interesting stuff. But
very interesting stuff. A mad thought, as Rhaenyra stated. I like that. A mad thought. Sometimes you gotta think a little. Yeah. You gotta be a little mad in the head if you want to win a war. So we'll see. Things seem to be heating up as far as that mad thought goes for next week's episode. Don't know what we're culminating to by the end of this season, which I'm fine with. But House of the Dragons, we're here for it, baby. We're here. Love a little House of the Dragon. All right. Any final thoughts? Or are we good to go?
Yeah. Interested, can't get my words out, to see what is to come. But lots of character development, some intrigue. R.I.P. Rhaenys and Meleys.
R.I.P. Rhaenys, and long live Aegon.
That's okay. No.
I don't think we need that. No.
Okay, fine. Say what you want. But that is it from us here at the Yonko Table, covering episode 5, season 2, House of the Dragon, Regent. Yes, thank you for listening us to all your various podcast stations, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Thank you for listening. Following us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all your support. YouTube with DrJaceAttorney, TikTok. And of course, if you ever want to pop off on us in the Discord, please join the link below and we'll gladly duke it out. With that said, I'm your Yonko host, Grand Maester Hoop of House Velaryon, Dr. Jace Attorney of Highgarden, and Dr. Rika, first of her name. How shall we close this?
I don't know if I gotta. Usually, you have a song on your heart.
Is there a song that fits this? He's Two-Face. Harvey Dent, Two-Face. It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair.